Let's go back to see how the aliens with sensitive hearing started their party pooping in New York City. However, this is merely a hurdle for one chick who has a craving for pizza. And not even a full-blown invasion is gonna get in her way. So let's pipe down and have a little bit of shush in A Quiet Place Day 1.
Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. That's right, the prequel, A Quiet Place Day 1, this time not having John Krasinski behind the camera. Instead, he decided to muck around with Ryan Reynolds and his imaginary friends. However, he did jump on board writer for this film and also producer, along with Michael Bay. This installment is directed by Michael Sarnoski, whose directorial debut was the Nicolas Cage film Pig, which is a magnificent film. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's kind of like John Wick for the culinary industry. Just watch it and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, we meet our protagonist for this film, Samira, played by Lupita Nyong'o, and her carer cat, Frodo. She spends her days in hospice because she's suffering from a terminal illness, which gives her more attitude than WWE in 1998. She tags along for a day trip in New York City with the rest of the patients at the hospice to go see a puppet show. No, not that one! However, the real reason she tags along is because she's got a hankering for some pizza in Harlem. Fair to say, though, everything goes tits up, and everyone in New York City is told to evacuate for reasons. None of the city folk know what the impending doom is, and then all of a sudden, a Michael Bay asteroid shower comes over the city. And wouldn't you know it, the Quiet Place aliens come to the city and start taking out people left, right and centre. In the kerfuffle, Samira is knocked unconscious. However, she wakes up in a bunkered down theatre where she just saw the puppet show with a bunch of other survivors, and they've worked out conveniently while she was asleep that these aliens hunt via sound. Then the government do what the government do best: isolate the city and the city folk to stop the spread. They then take a leaf out of Bane's book from The Dark Knight Rises and blow up all the bridge so there's no way off the island. Luckily and conveniently, the government have worked out that these aliens can't swim. So they fly over the city through loudspeakers, informing all the city folk to go to the docks all at once in the biggest group possible as there's boats waiting, which can only go well. But Samira's having none of it! She was promised pizza on this trip, and by God, she's getting pizza. Even when, yet again, the shit hits the fan, she's got a lady boner for a slice and she gon' get some. And her carer cat Frodo has seen Ridley Scott's as Alien and said, "Not without me you don't." This is where she bumps into the character Eric, played by Stranger Things' Joseph Quinn. He figures he could go for a slice too, with a glistening in his eye to go on this epic journey for pizza pie. What ensues next is a super tense journey, fighting to survive in a post-apocalyptic New York City. This film was shot incredibly well, putting you in the shoes and the forefront of our protagonist. And the experience is absolutely terrifying. Of course, and to be expected, there's very, very little dialogue in this film, and of course it works in its favour. And the acting? Holy shit! Lupita Nyong'o is absolutely phenomenal. Without a word, she shows you every emotion, and you feel it. And going through every scene, committing 100%. The film does a very clever thing, and very unsettling, of putting the characters and you, the viewer, in scenarios of, what would you do in this case? We also get some really tender moments between our two leads, not necessarily in a romantic way, but just the fact that they've bonded and grown closer to each other on this epic journey and their experiences. We also learn a little bit more about their characters as the film goes on. You know, good storytelling. This film sits really well next to the other two Quiet Place films. And the second one I reviewed way back when upon release. I still prefer part 1 and part 2, but this is a really good installment. It plays with that fear of the fall of society, the end of days if you will, and making humans the bottom of the food chain. Truly horrifying psychological stuff. A way better concept and execution than in a zombie film. Speaking of which, this film heavily reminded me of 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later. It's exciting, super tense, engaging and terrifying. A very good thriller horror. They can easily continue with this franchise, putting it in different cities and places, and having different characters go through similar experiences to our previous films. However, I only think it works if, in some way or another, John Krasinski is attached, along with the writer of all 3 films, Brian Woods. Highly recommend it! A Quiet Place, Day 1. Go see it! Anyway, guys, that's my cheeky little review of A Quiet Place Day 1. Write down below if you've seen it, if you're excited about it, what are your thoughts on it, but more importantly, what is your favourite one in the trilogy? And of course, if you made it this far at the episode, please give me a thumbs up because your love and support keeps me going, because I just love movies and I assume you do as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon because I give out an episode weekly, and I'll see you back here next week for the next review, but until then, stay spooky, kids.